Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Race to Power with me, Molly Gambhir. On the show tonight, we are focusing on what transpired in the Indian Parliament. Also, the speculation on who will be replacing Jagdeep Dhankar as the Vice President of India and the number game in both the houses of the Parliament. That's coming up in just a bit. And we'll also be focusing on Ukraine. The anger against President Zelensky is mounting. Thousands of Ukrainians have taken to the streets, accusing President Zelensky of trying to sabotage the functioning of the anti-corruption agencies in the country. We break it down for you. All this and more coming up. And we are starting off with the latest from India. Day 3 of the monsoon session of the Indian Parliament was also washed out, with proceedings in both the houses adjourned due to protests and sloganeering by the opposition members. Special intensive revision of the electoral rolls in Bihar, the debate on Operation Sindoor, and the Vice President's resignation remaining major points of contention between the opposition and the ruling coalition.
माननीय मंत्री जी, stands adjourned to meet at 2 p.m.
And as soon as the proceedings started, the Parliament was rocked by protests over the ongoing voter roll revision in Bihar. Opposition MPs waved placards and raised slogans. The leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha and the Congress MP Rahul Gandhi led the charge. Operation Sindoor continued to be a flashpoint. The opposition is demanding a direct response from the Prime Minister. Congress leader and leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, hit out at Prime Minister Modi for what he called his silence over repeated ceasefire claims made by US President Donald Trump.
देंगे बट पीएम का जवाब तो चल रहा है ना, ऑनगोइंग जवाब है. आप कह रहे हो कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर ऑनगोइंग है और फिर आप कह रहे हो विक्ट्री हो गई, या विक्ट्री हो गई या सिंदूर ऑनगोइंग है. और दूसरी साइड से ट्रंप कह रहा है कि भैया सिंदूर को मैंने बंद किया, सिंदूर को मैंने बंद किया. 25 बार बोला है, तो कुछ ना कुछ तो दाल में काला है ना.
The government has agreed to hold the debate on Operation Sindoor in both the houses, with 16 hours allotted in the lower house and 9 hours in the upper house. Discussions are expected to begin next week. Prime Minister Modi is currently on a two-nation tour. He is likely to attend the Parliament only after completing his visit on the 26th of July. After speeches by the Defence Minister and the Home Minister, the government and opposition are also, in fact, at loggerheads over the Vice President's resignation. The opposition has raised questions on potential reasons behind the resignation. The Air India flight crash also remained a crucial topic.
AIB has made an appeal also to all the media houses, especially the Western media houses also, who might have certain vested interests in the kind of articles or the reports that they are trying to publish. I believe in AIB.
The monsoon session, which started on July 21, will continue until August 21, featuring 32 days and 18 sittings. The sudden resignation of India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has sent shockwaves across the political spectrum. The speculation on why he resigned and who will be India's next Vice President peaking in India's power corridors. In fact, leading the attack on the centre, the leader of opposition in the upper house and the Congress party chief, Mallikarjun Kharge, raised serious questions on the reasons behind Dhankar's resignation. Listen to this.
Government should answer why he resigned. What's the mystery behind his resignation? It seems like something is not right.
As the centre deals with relentless attacks from the opposition in and outside the parliament, the Election Commission of India now has 60 days to complete the process to elect the next vice president, effectively setting the date by which the next vice president must be elected to September 19. Will India's next vice president be a BJP candidate, or will it be someone from the alliance? There are several names doing the rounds, including members from opposition parties as well. But as in the past, the BJP-led NDA is expected to be pulling off a surprise.
In a constitutional body, Modi ji forces to others to resign. Otherwise, impeachment motion will be brought. Because they are having some majority, that is the reason they are saying it. Now, it is being hard. It is being also hard that now Rajnath Singh would be sidelined. He would be made vice president. It is hard. Everything is on air.
The ruling NDA clearly edging ahead in the numbers game. The alliance has the support of 293 lawmakers in the lower house. In the Rajya Sabha, the backing of 129 members collectively, taking the strength of the ruling coalition to 422 lawmakers in both the houses of the parliament. That's 28 seats, more than what it needs to get the leader of its choice elected. So any candidate supported by the NDA is likely to secure the position of vice president, but the BJP requires a consensus candidate that all the alliance members agree on.
बिहार के नेता हमारे मध्य में है और बिहार की शैली की जो अंगवस्त्र होता है.
The residents of India's capital woke up to intense rainfall as parts of the national capital and the NCR region received heavy rainfall. India's opposition is blaming the ruling party for the water logging in parts of Delhi NCR, and the BJP is responding to the claims. As rain pounded Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party was attacking the Delhi government. Aam Aadmi Party's Atishi and Saurabh Bhardwaj raised questions by sharing videos of the situation on the ground. The Aam Aadmi Party leader Saurabh Bhardwaj shared a video on his social media showing a civilian wading through the heavily waterlogged street via inflatable boat.
मैं नाव नहीं चलने दूंगा, लेकिन अफसोस नाव तो चल गई. इस मनीष सिसोदिया जी को आपने बदनाम किया था ये कह के कि यहाँ पे काम नहीं हुआ.
And BJP leader Pradeep Bhandari was quick to respond, claiming the Delhi's BJP under leadership of Rekha Gupta has achieved what the Aam Aadmi Party could not in the last 10 years. Touting BJP's leadership, he shared a picture of Delhi's underbridge called the Minto Bridge that saw smooth traffic movement this morning despite rainfall battering the national capital. The Aam Aadmi Party, led by Arvind Kejriwal, lost power in Delhi early this year to the BJP after over 10 years of rule. The Aam Aadmi Party had won the Municipal Corporation of Delhi polls but chose not to take part in the mayoral election after its assembly poll defeat, saying that it did not have the numbers. Several areas in South Delhi, ITO and Mehroli Gurgaon Road, experienced traffic jams due to water accumulation and slow-moving vehicles. Widespread traffic congestion was reported from parts of North and South Delhi. India's weather body has predicted light to moderate rainfall for the capital over the next few days and has issued an orange alert for the capital. For the first time since the war started, Ukraine's streets are roaring not just against Russia, but against their own president. Thousands of Ukrainians have taken to the streets, accusing President Zelensky of trying to sabotage anti-corruption reforms. Our next report bringing you the details of the new law and why Ukrainians are furious.
Waving flags, holding placards and chanting shame. Thousands of Ukrainians flooded the capital this week, not in defiance of Putin, but in protest against President Volodymyr Zelensky. For the first time since Russia's brutal invasion, Zelensky faces a rebellion from his own people, not over strategy or surrender, but over corruption.
In general, this is what probably still holds our system together, because if we completely abandon the National Anti-Corruption Bureau, then everyone will be able to do what they want even more, and everyone will steal like the last time. It's not fun at all.
Considering that the primary objective of such protests is to express the will of the people and influence the authorities, it is an attempt to demonstrate what the people want. It is not simply to shame them and say that they are bad, but to convey an opinion.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky signed a bill on Tuesday revoking the autonomy of 2 anti-corruption agencies. Critics say the law would significantly weaken the independence of 2 key anti-corruption agencies and give Zelensky complete control over investigations. Recalling the spirit of Euromaidan, demonstrators are saying that Ukraine's sacrifices at the front must not be betrayed by corruption at the top.
Do you know how it feels like now? Like at the beginning of 2014 protests. We can't stand it anymore. The situation is different. It feels like we are directing our energy the wrong way. But we have to do it. That's how it is.
Ukraine's progress towards transparent governance, a cornerstone of its aspirations for European integration and a key demand of its international benefactors, now appears dangerously compromised. International observers long pointed out endemic corruption in Ukraine. Now Kyiv's hopes for EU integration and continued Western support teeter on the edge, threatened not only by enemy shells but by creeping internal rot. This internal struggle, fought not with bullets but with banners and slogans, pose a critical test for Zelensky's leadership. For Ukraine's democratic trajectory, it threatens to alienate key allies and dampen the very spirit of resistance that has defined the war-torn nation. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Shifting focus for now, US President Donald Trump has accused his predecessor Barack Obama of treason and called for his prosecution over a report alleging that officials in the Democrats' administration manipulated information on Russia's interference in the 2016 election. Listen to this.
It's time to start, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level.
And speaking to reporters in the Oval Office during a meeting with the President of the Philippines, Trump listed Obama, Hillary Clinton, former FBI Director James Comey, former Director of National Intelligence, and others who he accused of plotting against him and attempting to rig the election, as he said. And Trump's latest remarks were dismissed by his opponents as an attempt to shift focus away from the mushrooming crises around the administration's failure to release files connected to the Jeffrey Epstein case. In fact, a spokesperson for Obama has said, I'm quoting, these bizarre allegations and ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction, quote unquote. And this is not the first time Donald Trump has gone after Barack Obama. It is a feud that spans years and has only grown more public and provocative in a way. Recently, the White House shared a post on X featuring a striking image of President Trump with the caption, I was the hunted, now I am the hunter, quote unquote. And the post hammered home the point with, they came after the wrong man, quote unquote. And adding more fuel to this fire and the feud, Trump posted a controversial video on his Truth Social platform. The clip showed a digitally altered scene. FBI agents trying to show handcuffing of Barack Obama inside the Oval Office while Trump stands by smiling. The video then ends with Obama behind bars in an orange prison jumpsuit. Coming back to Russia's alleged role in the 2016 elections, Russia's broad interference has been established through a series of investigations, including Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation and a thorough 2020 Senate Intelligence Committee report that was completed when the panel was led by the Republican Senator Marco Rubio, who is now Trump's Secretary of State. And going straight across now to our correspondent Susan Teherani, who's been tracking those developments for us. Susan, hi. The frequency, the intensity of Donald Trump's attacks on Barack Obama, leading many to raise questions over the timing, over the intention, and whether or not this is actually a move to try and distract attention away from the real issues.
Yeah, some are saying that it is a diversionary tactic. Others are saying it's long overdue. Like so many things, Molly, here in the United States, it all depends on who you ask. Now, there are a lot of parallels between what the people that support investigations like these want with the Epstein file and this Barack Obama issue with the Russia hoax. It all ultimately goes down to the quote-unquote deep state, this shadow cabal of powerful individuals who are working behind the scene and should be held accountable. This storyline is very similar in both cases. Now, whether or not President Trump and his administration can bring up enough evidence to possibly subpoena someone like Barack Obama, who is now just a regular president, that's yet to be seen. They could ultimately those other individuals in the Obama administration who they are accusing of these crimes, they can possibly bring them in front of a grand jury, subpoena them. But as far as Barack Obama goes, you may remember just recently the Supreme Court ruled presidential immunity for acts committed while an individual is in office. Many cried foul regarding that. They said that it would be to the benefit of Donald Trump, but it also goes to Barack Obama if push comes to shove. So yeah, the timing is curious on the one hand, but on the other hand, it is something that President Trump, even candidate Trump, has been after for quite some time now.
All right, we're leaving it there for the moment, Susan. Thanks very much. All right, switching gears to Taiwan. It is heading into a high-stakes political showdown that could also reshape its parliament. The voters will be deciding whether to recall 24 lawmakers from the opposition, KMT. This will be a dramatic test of public sentiment just months after President Lai Ching-te took office. And the president's Democratic Progressive Party, remember, lost its legislative majority in the recent polls, and that opened the doors for the KMT to push back hard by slashing budgets and blocking the government initiatives, particularly efforts to boost defense spending. Civic groups are hitting back, accusing the KMT of selling out Taiwan by cozying up to China. The KMT is also accused of undermining national security and throwing the legislature into chaos. The recall campaign has been branded as an anti-communist movement. But Chinese officials and state-run media have rallied behind the embattled KMT, blasting the protests as a political witch hunt and painting the president as a dictator in the garb of democracy. The KMT, on its part, insisting it did not ask for China's help and says this is Taiwan's fight alone. The test is not only political, it also comes with China's rising military threat. Taiwan has been on the receiving end of escalating military pressure from China. Recently, Taiwan's defense ministry reported 11 PLA aircraft, 10 vessels and ships were detected around Taiwan's northern, central, and southwestern region. China views a democratically governed Taiwan as its own and has intensified military pressure around the island, staging a string of intense war games and daily naval and air force patrols around the territory. However, China's foreign ministry has said its opposition to US-Taiwan military ties was consistent and very firm. The turmoil in Japanese politics continues as speculation about the Prime Minister's future grows. Multiple reports claiming the Japanese leader plans to step down after a stinging election defeat. But Ishiba himself is denying the rumors, calling them unfounded. Speaking to reporters at his party headquarters, Ishiba said he had never made such a statement. Japan's media earlier reported that the Prime Minister would resign next month. The denial comes just days after a bruising defeat for Ishiba's ruling Liberal Democratic Party in the upper house elections. His party lost ground to emerging right-wing challengers, including the far-right Japanese First and Seto Party, which expanded its seat count from just 1 to 14. For Ishiba, the election loss is a blow to his authority, insiders saying he delayed any resignation move to avoid instability. The reports of his resignation coming at a time when he successfully struck a trade deal with the United States. Ishiba stood alongside US President Donald Trump, remember, to announce a trade agreement. The deal has been received positively by Japan's auto industry. If Ishiba leaves, it would set off a contest to replace him at the helm of a party that has dominated Japanese politics for decades, but now finds itself without a majority in either house of parliament. His successor would need support from the opposition lawmakers to win confirmation as Prime Minister. On to Poland now, where the Prime Minister has announced a major cabinet shakeup. The move comes amid the sliding poll numbers, mounting internal tensions, and also a recent presidential loss that has shifted the country's political balance in a way. The Prime Minister made a strategic move. He promoted the Foreign Minister to the post of Deputy Prime Minister. The reshuffle comes as Tusk's pro-European centrist government faces a dip in public support and increasing strains within the ruling civic coalition. In other appointments, the Finance Minister will now head a newly merged Ministry of Finance and Economy, giving him oversight of all economic departments in the government. To address energy policy, Tusk has created a new ministry. Milos Moteka from the coalition partner will be heading the energy portfolio. Meanwhile, Judge Waldemar Zurek takes over the Justice Ministry. The move follows a key election defeat last month when nationalist candidate Karol Nawrocki defeated Tusk's ally in the presidential election. With a veto-wielding president now in office, Tusk's legislative ambitions face new obstacles. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Race to Power. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off. Thanks for watching.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate tracker on WION World is One.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
The stress of our world can take a toll on our physical and emotional health. Here, in New York's Catskill Mountains, lies a luxurious place of healing called WION Wellness Center. The WION Wellness Center provides 500,000 square feet of natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at yo1.com.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch. WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate tracker on WION World is One.
Welcome back to WION World is One and thank you for staying with us. I'm Eric Njoka. Time now for Fine Print, the headlines. The United Nations Highest Court in a landmark judgment underlines the urgent and existential threat posed by climate change. A landmark judgment